Hey guys, my name is Ariel and this is the Grace Roots gardening tour for this week. Lots of things changing, things getting planted, things getting pulled, dealing with some heat right now. So I'm going to take you along and show you how things are progressing. Alright, so these radishes that are going to seed have just kind of completely flopped over. Had a lot of wind and it's been hot, but these start out with these flowers like this, and then they start to produce these seed pods. And so I'm just trying to keep these in the ground long enough for these seeds to mature, and then I'll end up pulling this whole radish that's holding it in right there and letting them dry. But they're kind of taking up a little space there, just all flopped over. But hopefully it'll be worth it, because like, look at all of these seed pods. I'm not gonna have to buy radish seeds next year for sure. Here is my cantaloupe. We are getting flowers. Once these are a little bit bigger, I'll be able to show you the difference between a male and a female flower on your melon and your squash plants. I might be able to see, I don't know if I have any on the spaghetti squash yet, but there's definitely a difference. And if you can tell the difference between the two, you can help hand pollinate so that you get better fruit set and pollination. So, but they're coming along, they're working their way up the trellis. So they'll put out these little curlicues there. Tomatoes are looking good. I accidentally topped a tomato plant this week, so I just went ahead and pulled it. If you top the plant, it's not going to get any taller. So I just went ahead and pulled it out, and I grabbed this from my rescue pile. I had some extra plants that were just kind of hanging out, and it looked pretty pitiful, but I am bringing it back, and hopefully it'll catch up in growth to everything else. But we're getting some fruit set on there. Got lots and lots of blossoms. This one's that early cascade. And then my Roma. Don't have many flowers on this Roma yet. Oh, I lied. Yes, I do. This one is the mortgage lifter. Got a couple little fruit in there. And as your fruit come on, I'm always like checking the bottoms for blossom end rot. If you see that, it'll be a really dark spot on the bottom. Just pull that fruit off. But little baby tomatoes. This one is that watermelon beefsteak. God, look at those healthy, happy leaves. Got some blossoms on there. And then the Amish paste. God, just look. It is like that much taller than all the other tomatoes already. That's the Amish paste. I love that variety. This one's the vintage wine. And we've got several little baby fruits. And then Consuelo Genovese. It's got lots of blossoms set. Yep, we got fruit set. It's going around. Over here is Brandywine Red. This guy needs a tie up really bad. That is Black Krim. I tied it, but it's, gosh, it just has grown so much. I put marigolds in between my tomato plants, also some little basil getting going. This is the Brandywine Pink, and then another Roma. And the Romas are a different type of tomato. Most of what I grow is indeterminate, where it's gonna set fruit all season and just keep getting bigger and bigger, whereas the Roma is gonna set all of its fruit at one time. So it's getting loaded with quite a few blossoms all at once. My plan with the Romas is to try to root a sucker or two off of them, so that when they're done fruiting, I've got something ready to go in its place. So there's that Roma. And then Cherokee Purple. Love this one. Kellogg's Breakfast. It kind of might look like a fasciated blossom. I've had several of those this year, more so than ever before. It'll just be like a really big flower where several of them kind of form together, and you can leave them. I'm gonna leave them. Got Tigerella with several fruit set on one branch. And here is where I was seed saving. So I'm probably gonna take this bag off and tie a little bow on that stem so I know that these were the ones that I protected from cross-pollination. And then this one is the Brandywine Red. Got a wild garden cat here. Sassy! Meow. All right, onto these peas. They're filling out. Thinking we're gonna be picking for probably another 2 to 4 weeks on these. Plants are looking okay in there. Now, kind of the difference, peas don't really set good fruit when it's too hot. And so these were some sugar snap peas that I planted later, and they're this tall and literally just set one fruit on there, just set one pea. So peas, if you can get them in the ground earlier, they do better at forming flowers and forming seed pods if you can get them in when it's a little cooler. So in the middle, I have got the start of a pumpkin. I'm so excited. This cilantro, God, I've cut from this like 6 different times, cut it down to nothing, and it just keeps on coming back. I have frozen so much cilantro, but it is getting close to where it's gonna be too warm for that. And more peas. Just think that they're so pretty. There's the spaghetti squash. It is doing so good climbing up this trellis. As I'm walking around the garden, I just kind of watch for any of these that have gotten a little bit ahead of themselves and try to just keep them a little tame. With this A-frame trellis, they like to reach across and put out their little tendrils to hang on over there, but I want them to go up and over the top. It gives me just a little bit more. So and you just kind of carefully do this. You don't want to break your stems. So just trying to get it to work its way up. I have seen the start to some fruits there. Those are gonna end up being blossoms right there. That is a female fruit. So once that flower opens up, I'm gonna try to find a male fruit at the same time and go ahead and hand pollinate that. The bees will probably do a good job, but I like to be sure we artificially pollinate when possible, just to help them out. Strawberries are about done. I'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 more picks off of this, but it's pretty spent. And then over here, these are peppers and strawberries. I noticed the other day, this one plant has already put out 3 different runner plants, all just from one. So they're trying to reproduce and fill up this bed, which is great. That's what I want. So the next year I'll have 2 beds of strawberries to pick from. All right, so peppers over here are doing good. Putting on those flowers. This one has just gotten so tall. I had somebody ask me if it's okay if you see purple on like the stems of your pepper plants. It is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with there being some purple on those stems. There's nothing wrong with it at all. So don't worry if you see that. But gosh, just look, all those little buds are gonna be peppers. It's gonna be loaded. Got dinosaur kale going. I have pulled quite a bit of this off to eat and fed it to my duck, but looking good. And then these cucumbers are finally perking up, getting some action there. And they are just happy climbers. They will put out these little tendrils and just work their way up and over this trellis. For here, beans. Green beans, purple beans, lots of beans. Just look at all these little flowers. These are all gonna be beans. I am so excited. I love fresh green beans. They just don't compare to what you buy in a can at the store. So lots of beans. With beans, once you start picking, keep picking often. The more you pick, the more they produce. So they're also really good for your soil. They help fix nitrogen in there. So next season, if I grew lettuce or spinach right here, my soil here is going to have a lot of free nitrogen in it that will help feed whatever I plant next year. So corn is great to plant after beans, lettuce, spinach, kale, all those kind of like grass leaf varieties. For here, I've got more peppers. Here's that broccoli that went to seed. Isn't that pretty? So again, with seed saving, you grow it and then you just have to let it be while the seeds mature. But all these pretty little flowers. I have pretty much picked all of the heads off the broccoli here. I was leaving these. I'm like, hey, I don't have any peppers to put in their place yet anyways. So, leaving those. But this broccoli here that I let go to seed has put up some little side shoots. So that was cool. I do bamboo stakes for my peppers. They don't need a lot of support, just a little bit will help them stay upright. So peppers there, and I got a couple cabbages over here. I truly, as seedlings, broccoli and cabbages are related, and they look very similar as seedlings. So I thought those were broccoli, and they turned into cabbages, so it happens. This right here, though, that's signs of pest damage. There's some kind of little bug in here eating these. At this point, I'm done with the broccoli, so if I don't get any, you know, I'm not trying to eat off of these anymore. I'm just waiting for the seeds. But if you start to see things like this, that's a sign that you've got some kind of a caterpillar or a worm. Yep, like I said, Mommy. Exactly what it is. Those little things destroy broccoli and cabbages. These cabbages are gorgeous. I'm gonna pick these probably within 2 weeks. So close to picking a lot of these. Just like the sound of cabbage. They're so close to being done. My plan with these is to make a whole bunch of sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut and we use quite a bit of it, so I'm going to make some. But my cherry tomatoes and buckets are doing okay. It's just been real hot. This is that black strawberry from Baker Creek. Moving over here, this one is just black cherry. It's, like I said, it's been hot, and that's the one thing that's tricky with doing these in buckets like this, is you've got to keep them well watered, and I haven't been doing a very good job. Another of the black strawberry. Got some little fruit set. And then this one is blueberries. So, coming along. Potatoes. I am thinking probably 3 to 4 more weeks before I'm going to start picking these, and I am actually planning to do a fall crop of potatoes too. Here is my bed of corn. These are way too close together. I'm going to come through and thin these out. I just like to let them get started and see which ones come up best, and then thin from there. So this is going to be sweet corn. When you're growing corn, you can only grow one kind of corn per year. Otherwise, it's going to cross-pollinate and you're going to be picking something that's probably not going to be what you're expecting. So when you grow corn, just one kind per year. It's my soft neck garlic. And then my hard neck garlic. I have been out harvesting scapes. I'm getting ready to do a video on making compound butter with garlic scapes. So those are looking really good. You want to wait till the top like 3 to 4 leaves on your garlic dies back before it's ready to pick. And so I've had 1, 2, so got a couple more to go. Then over here I've got some green beans mixed in. As I pull this garlic, I'm just going to add green beans right back in and use this bed for more green beans. Got blueberries. Those are getting so big. Just bunches of them. This lettuce has seen better days. These big stalks right here are where my spinach went to seed. And I'm just kind of leaving that on the plant for a little bit longer, let those seeds mature. I have a tomato volunteer that just popped up in there. It's hot, it's 100 degrees here, so a lot of this lettuce is wilting. I've been picking and picking. I've had salads a lot, but we're pretty much done. I was hoping to keep this going longer, but it is what it is. Gotten lots of good salad out of it, but yeah, these stalks, that's where spinach is going to seed in there. Some of it's still pretty though. Good little romaine. A couple of the onions have started to go to seed as well. I've never had onions do this on me before, but the ones that do this will not be great for storage, so I won't try to cure those ones. But I'm letting everything else go to seed, so I think I'm gonna let these go too. Maybe save some onion seeds for next year. I'm gonna get down low here and give you a view of these onions. They're popping out of that soil. I'm probably gonna come through and top dress with a little bit of compost just to cover them up for a little longer. I've got all different kinds mixed in there. To tell when an onion is done, this part right here on that neck is gonna feel soft and it's gonna start to flop over. I'm not seeing that happen yet. I do have a little bit of yellowing on some of these lower leaves, but that's nothing to worry about. As long as this is still feeling good, that bulb is still developing. You do want to try to keep them decently watered while this is going on, because they're starting to build that bulb size. So the onions. One thing I haven't ever shown you guys is my herb planter. This is rosemary. I've got basil. I believe it is, I always get oregano and one other one mixed up. I think that's oregano. Parsley, and this is the start to dill. And then up top here, I have got fenugreek growing. So these are fenugreeks even like, but not seed pods. Everything's going to seed. It's the theme of today. But I just keep herbs growing over here. I also mix them into my garden too. But this way they've got a dedicated space that they can just fill out. So that's my tour for the week. Thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure to like, comment with any questions, and then subscribe to stay up to date on everything going on. Have a wonderful day.